Hey, it's Marta. It's Sunday, February 8th. And I'm super grateful to be alive today, super grateful for the life that I am so blessed to lead in recovery. And so this was like the first Out of the Darkness convention that I'd ever been to in Decatur, Alabama, and it was amazing. It was everything that everybody hyped it up to be, and more. So I just want to say that if you've never been to a recovery convention in general, but definitely the Out of the Darkness NA convention in Decatur, Alabama, you definitely want to make plans to check it out next year because it's something that I will definitely never miss in life. Just absolutely amazing. The speakers, every night it was like the speaker would be so amazing and the message would be so powerful that you'd think, well, there's no way, the speaker tomorrow or the speaker in the next panel I'm going to attend can be that great. But they were all just phenomenal. The committee did an amazing job choosing speakers. Just the whole thing from top to finish was just, it blessed my soul, and I can't say enough about it. But so I wanted to talk about something that I was thinking about the other day. I have conversations with people a lot about gratitude because I think it's one of the most important pieces in not only living a more fulfilled life now, but in your life becoming better and better, each day and in the future. I was thinking about the whole concept of gratitude. And, first of all, I feel like it's important to say, because it's something that I had to learn in life, is that you can't manipulate God. I'm sure we've all had plenty of times. I know I have that bargaining with God. If you'll just get me out of this, I'll never do this again. Get me out of these consequences and I'll never, drink again or something. Or if you'll just give me this, put this into my life, I will start doing this from now on or something. I know it doesn't work. Well, it certainly has never worked for me, and I just don't think that I think God is above manipulation. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think it's something that we certainly all try or default to, depending on where we're at spiritually and with our relationship with God. I know I certainly did. But one thing that I do think that, at least that has been foundational in my relationship with God and the way my life has been unfolding since I adopted gratitude as like a foundational part of my heart, my soul, my life, my spiritual practice, is that gratitude, it appears in my life at least that it is very important to God that we express that. And when I say express it, I mean, true gratitude, because we're all capable, when somebody gives us a gift that we don't really want and don't think is exciting, you're still going to be like, oh my gosh, thank you, and it's not sincere at all. You're just saying thank you because that's what you're supposed to do when someone gives you something, regardless of how you feel about the gift. But I'm talking about being profoundly, legitimately grateful for every single thing in your life, starting with your life and the fact that you're alive. Because if you're a person that is an addict or an alcoholic, if you've struggled with addiction, then you certainly can probably relate. I did everything possible to take myself out of the game, not necessarily intentionally, although I think sometimes my behaviors certainly were intentionally in a mindset of, I can't do this anymore, I can't take this anymore, I have no idea how to get out of this horrible trap of my life. And so maybe if I just live like if I just do the craziest things in life, take the biggest, stupidest risks, and just abuse my body horrifically, I don't have the courage to take my own life, but maybe all these things will do it for me. I think that was a mindset I had at sometimes. And I just thank God that it didn't work, But so, first and foremost, I think that we have to be grateful that we're alive, no matter what. If you have absolutely nothing else that you can possibly think of in your life that you're grateful for, you're alive. And as long as you're alive, that means that you have hope. You have hope that things can change, and things can change for the better in your life. But past that, when we start thinking about being grateful for being alive, we always have more things to be grateful for. The problem is that we get caught in a trap of comparing what we have to either what other people have, and all this, people living their best life on social media and all this stuff, or just comparing it to what we really want, like our dream stuff that we want. You know what I mean? And that's just, it's not the right way to go about things. And I know that from experience. You're just going to become more and more unhappy. And I think it's a cycle where the more unhappy you are with your life, the more life gives you things to be unhappy about. And I have found conversely that the happier you get about every little thing in your life, the more things that God gives you to be happy about. A lot of people think I'm sort of unrelentingly positive, and I throw a party over the smallest things, and I am, and I do. And it's a huge, huge paradigm shift, a huge identity shift from who I was, even just a year or two ago. And I owe that all to recovery, but that is why I can truly say that I enjoy every moment of my life, even when things aren't going precisely as I'd like them to. Even if certain areas of my life aren't going great at the moment, I'm still fundamentally filled with joy about the life that I'm leading, because I do make sure to find excitement in the quote unquote smallest things, and I was thinking about it, and I was talking to someone about this a few days ago, and I really do see God in one aspect, because I just refuse to put God in a box at this point. I think God is truly everything and anything imaginable and unimaginable. But for this particular concept and this conversation I was having, I was like, God truly is like a parent, and when you're a parent, and any parents out there should be able to identify with this, and you have more than one child, you love all of your children equally, and you're going to provide for them equally as far as the things that they need, food, clothing, shelter, all the things. You're not going to like feed like two of your kids and not feed two of them and things like that. You're going to provide their needs in life equally and to the best of your ability, right? But when it comes to giving little gifts and little surprises and blessings and things like that, ideally you want to do that equally for all your kids too, I imagine. But there can be several different factors, I'm sure, that determine sort of the way that you do this. But one of them I'm quite sure is gratitude. If you have two kids and you give both of them a peppermint candy, just one of those simple red and white peppermint candies, and one of them is like, oh my gosh, Mom, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you for the candy. This is so awesome. Like, I was really wanting something sweet right now, and here you come with the candy. Like, you're the best mom ever. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for thinking of me. And the other kid is like, oh my gosh, a peppermint candy. I mean, it's so boring. And I like Twix bars, why couldn't you have given me a Twix bar? Earlier today at school, my friend had a Twix bar in their lunch, and I was like, wow, I wish my mom would give me a Twix bar. And then you just give me a peppermint candy. Like, this sucks. And then you have, this same sort of thing happening with these kids over and over again. which kid are you going to be more excited about giving something to? And which kid are you going to be more excited about even like leveling up what you give them? Like, man, if this child threw a party over a peppermint candy, what is this child going to do if I surprise them with a candy bar? Versus that other kid. And I think even when it comes to how your kids take care of the things that you give them and do for them, I mean, if you're giving each kid a toy, and the one kid is banging it up and breaking it and losing it and all these kinds of things, and the other kid is taking the utmost care of it, really truly valuing this toy, which kid are you going to want to give sort of the more expensive toys and items to? If you have two kids, two boys, and one of them can't take care of a toy car, a Matchbox car, I don't know, and he breaks it the first day and all this stuff, do you really want to give that kid like a PlayStation or some expensive piece of electronics? I think that God, and this is just my opinion and the experience I've had with my higher power in recovery, but I think that God wants us to be super, super stoked and grateful for the blessings that come our way, whatever they are, and to see the blessings in things that we wouldn't ordinarily see as a blessing. I think that when we're able to do that, then He feels that we are ready for the bigger blessings, and He wants to to see us take care of the things that He does bestow upon us, so that I mean, you're not just going to jump in and give someone like the top of the line, like most complicated piece of machinery or technology if you don't know whether they can handle the basic model. And so I think that that's kind of the case in the sorts of levels that we want to achieve and blessings that we want to receive. I think God wants to see how we're going to handle things at each level. So, that's just kind of my take on gratitude. And like I said, it's not really a manipulation thing, a bargain, all this thing. If you're truly, truly grateful, I know that whenever I show my gratitude for all the things that I currently have in my life, God seems to continue to shower me with more. I hope you got something out of that. I hope you're having a beautiful and blessed Sunday. If I got to meet you or interact with you at Out of the Darkness, thank you, because I just got blessed by interactions with so many wonderful people in recovery. And I hope you all have a wonderful week in the coming week ahead of us. Thank you so much for letting me share. Bye.